This is part 2 of a 2-part podcast.
Hey, this is T. Blankenship. Are you a fan of pie? Where there's pie at Permies.com. This pie grants the user secret access. You also get free things like videos of Wheaton Labs, the ability to add 2 thumbs up to posts, and more. To get pie, go to Permies.com/pie to get the inside scoop of what pie can do for you. Again, that is Permies.com/pie.
All right. What is on the card that we haven't talked about? Well, first of all, let me take a step back and say, I think that this batch of cards is better than the first batch of cards.
Oh, really?
Why
do you say that? Okay.
Well, I feel like I'm grooving on the art more.
Okay, cool.
I think that the art is 40% better.
All right.
I am feeling like when we did the whole thing about the Suicide King and the One-Eyed Jacks, I think that was more fun.
Okay. Fun is fun.
I think Andreas did a cool thing. I didn't even ask him to do this, and he did this where, well, in this case, the woman is buck naked. But in all the other cards, the people, all the clothes that they wear, everybody's barefoot and wearing overalls, which I think is just so fun. And I didn't ask him to do that. He just did that. And I'm sorry, I like that a lot.
She might be wearing overalls. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, we can't really tell in this picture. Her hair could be covering the overall straps. She could be showering and doing her laundry at the same time.
And I'm she's barefoot.
I kind of feel like I don't know. I kind of feel like the words are moving forward much better. Like I feel like this is more of a group effort, and so for the poetry, and so there's getting to be a lot of like feedback, double checking, triple checking, things like that. And so I feel better about the words this time. I feel better about the art because about 1 card in 3, it's like Andreas nailed it the first time. So Andreas and I have been working together so long that I don't know, I feel like he nails it the first time a lot. And then
that's great.
And then if we have to make some changes, it's like he's really good at being able to understand my crazy talk as I try to communicate with the English language, like, can you do this a little more burr, 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 burr? So I know that, so I don't know. I just feel better about this deck of cards than the last deck of cards. And
buy the old cards. Still buy those ones up so Paul gets his office back.
Yeah. Well, there's only 2 boxes left. There's not much left. So yeah, go buy the old deck. That's cool.
The old deck is also cool. Yes.
Yeah, they are great. For the old deck, boy, it just seems like people got so angry about the people. So the old deck has people, like, and they were angry that why isn't my favorite person there? Or for a while there was this thing about why aren't there more women? And it's like, who do you suggest? And then they couldn't come up with anybody. And it's like, there you go. And it's like, so they would just be angry. And I was like, oh, that was sad. And then, why don't you add this plant? And why don't you add that plant? So I don't know. I just kind of feel like this deck is better, like a lot better. I feel better about it. Anyway, I don't know. Do you guys, I mean, you're looking at like, there's the back of the card has got a richer color set. You've looked at the front of several cards now. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts about this deck versus the original? You've all seen the original deck.
Yeah, this looks gorgeous. From what I've seen, my one complaint about the old deck, even though everyone should still buy it, is the font is a little hard to read. And I've heard that these ones will be even easier to read, which will be good. So, yeah, they look beautiful. Great stocking stuffer.
Andreas assures me that this font is larger and easier to read all around. And I haven't gone to try to do a character count or anything like that to prove him wrong, which would be one way to do it, because we keep looking at it in super jumbo mode in order to figure out the images and the text and all that stuff. All right. I'm going to go and take a look at our Kickstarter. We ought to be doing this. And so, no new activity for the last 15 minutes. And so here I am making whiny sounds. Please support our Kickstarter. Please, sir, may I have some more? So, all right. Should we go back to that card we were looking at there? Ooh, okay, all right. Yeah, there it is. Rocket water heater. Are there any bits on this that we haven't talked about already? Andreas?
Maybe we want to explain the concept of the boom squish.
I mean, I have seen so many wood-fired water heaters on the YouTubes, and it's kind of like, oh, geez, they look scary to me. And yet they've got like 1 million views. And I kind of wonder about like, how did it do over the years? But, there's a lot of different ways that, especially with a pressurized system. But if you've got like a coil around, that can be problematic. But if you've got a pressurized system, that can be problematic. And if it's going to explode, hot water, steam, is a very big explosion. It was the most powerful explosion ever on Mythbusters when they were trying to show a hot water heater where they'd shorted it out. And they put it into they made a conventional house that was like 3 feet by 3 feet, and its only function in the world was to hold this hot water heater that they had messed with. And then they got behind safety glass, and then they exploded it. And they said it was the biggest explosion that they've ever had on their show, and they've had a lot of doozies. So the thing is when you mess with heating water, it can be exploding. And that was with electric heat for the Mythbusters program. But in this case, wood heat, you can oftentimes overheat pretty easily. But if it's an unpressurized system, it's like boiling water on your stove. It's open. It's not going to get explodey at all. It cannot build up the pressure to explode. So anyway, so boom squish is the idea of there's an explosion, the boom, and the squish is when you, your family, and maybe some of your neighbors all squish. And it's like, therefore, I want people to be super cautious, and I just kind of feel like I'm wary of trying to talk to people about boom squish I think in the 8-movie set for rocket mass heaters, I think movie number 3 is all about heating water, and I believe 1/3 of the movie is dedicated to like how dangerous this is. Anything with a rocket mass heater is very, very safe. It's extremely safe. It's hard for it to be anything other than safe. But once you start trying to heat water, that can be very dangerous. And I want to say experts only, and even for experts, it can be dangerous unless you do an unpressurized system. So, there's new comments. I'm reading the chatty chat.
Good.
Oh, good. She who must be obeyed. This is his wife. Was just looking at the original deck for the first time, and she was pretty excited. She likes them and is looking forward to the new ones. Yeah, I think that the people who pirated the first deck, when they first contacted me, their whole livelihood is nothing but printing cards, and they contacted me and said, "These are the most beautiful cards we've ever processed. Can we put advertising in it?" And I said, "No." So I guess they wanted to do it anyway. And so then they pirated it, which I think is beyond rude. So,
Paul, I've got to head out here in a minute or two. Just to let everyone know.
Well, thanks for helping us out today, Mike, for as much as you could. It looks like Julia has already headed out. Samantha showed up to fill in for you, Mike.
I guess, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Samantha. You got this.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks,
Are
Mike.
there any other? Okay, looks like we've moved on to the next card. The Solar Food Dehydrator with Rocket Assist. So we already have a Solar Food Dehydrator here, and I think that card is part of the first deck. But I can tell you that everybody here doesn't even want to touch the old Solar Food Dehydrator. They just want to do everything in the new one with the Rocket Assist. And it's kind of like, the solar's going to do its thing and all, but let's give it a rocket bump anyway. And so, I don't know, the temptation to build a fire in like 2 minutes and then walk away is huge. So this thing has turned out to be the champion here. Andreas, do you want to read the little blurbs? Because I can't quite make it out.
Yes. The angle of the glass is optimized for spring and fall, not summer.
So the first solar food dehydrator that we have, which is still a lovely and delightful solar food dehydrator, it has I'm going to say, gentler slope. I don't think it's optimized for the like the summariest part of summer. Instead, it's probably optimized, I'm going to guess, for like August, September. Whereas this one is more for October, November.
This one is closer to vertical, right?
Yeah, this one is steeper, closer to vertical.
Yeah.
And part of it is that we're kind of finding that when we're using it the most, which, by the way, we're in Montana, and we have a plum tree that still has plums. I mean, we've been pulling plums off this plum tree for 2 months now.
Oh, my
God.
God.
It still has like 50 plums on it that we haven't touched yet. We're kind of like...
In December?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's like, we're saving the plum pits, and we're going to plant them everywhere.
Yeah.
because not only are they a delicious plum, especially once dried, in the solar food dehydrator, but we're still doing it. We're still running the solar food dehydrator. But the key is that when fall rolls around and you're harvesting everything, a lot of cloudy days, and the days are shorter, because when you're past September, your days are shorter than 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then, of course, night. And so the rocket assist it's like, okay, yeah, it uses a lot of solar. The whole system, like when you arrive, it's already working because of the solar factor. And this one's also got rocks on the inside. The old solar food dehydrator doesn't have a bunch of rocks inside.
Oh, okay. So it's got some mass.
Yes. And it will keep operating through the night. However, everybody's kind of just gotten into autopilot to just start the fire, Yeah. And so, and it's like, man, and then it's, how many of you have ever done dehydrating of food with one of those electric jobbies that you sit on your counter? Has anybody done that? Samantha's got her hand up.
Yep.
Okay, and Andreas has done it.
I've used my oven.
Okay. Let me ask you, Samantha and Andreas, who've done it with the little electric dehydrators. Have you noticed your electric bill goes up a bit?
Yes.
Look at Andreas. Look at him like grin like a fool. Like, yes. Samantha, you haven't noticed?
I haven't really.
Really? Okay. I've heard people talk about how when they use theirs, their electric bill goes up hundreds of dollars per month.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had one person say that theirs went up $900 in a month using their electric food dehydrator, and my guess is that they must have been running more than one. But wow, that can be expensive.
Oh yeah. I must have a big one. Mine is just a little fan and a little coil. It doesn't take a lot of electricity, but it also doesn't dry very much food. That thing, those ones that you have at your place, you could dry so much food all at once.
Yeah,
Amazing.
It's big. Yeah.
And with just a few sticks, it's like wow, and you don't need it to be hot. You just need it to be warm enough for the air to move a lot. And so that's all we did. All right, so. The faster you dry food, the higher the quality of the dried food. And so if it's a cloudy day and you're trying to dry food in the old solar food dehydrator, it could mold in 3 or 4 days. And it's like, so I know Samantha, was it this spring or summer, Samantha?
It was this summer, yeah, and we just didn't get the stuff dried quick enough. And yeah, mold will happen in 3 days.
And it was like cloudy days, a bunch of cloudy days hit, and people just put them in and they walked away. And then it's like, oh, we wasted food.
Yeah.
Whereas the stuff in the solar food dehydrator with rocket assist, I don't know, there's the novelty of like build a fire in 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's really fun to use it too, because you open that cabinet and it's just warm in there.
Yes.
So neat.
Right.
So I think.
And so the rocket doesn't cook the food because the rocket is not directly aimed at the food, right?
No, it's in a different cabinet. There's 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So you open up the fire room and then you put the fire, but the food itself is just a nice, delightfully warm room.
Just a toasty room.
Yeah, and there's no smoke. You're not smoking your food. It's just running the heat
It's not
through your food. So smart. It's really cool.
Got a rocket smoker.
Yeah, no, this has got all the smoke goes up the little chimney in the top.
Yeah,
and there is no smoke. Right. I mean, the exhaust.
Well, I don't want smoked apple slices. That doesn't seem
right. We're not going to mess with that. So.
But I just harvested a hog though, so I'm thinking smoked.
Right. All right. You want to be thinking of cold smoke if you can. Yeah.
Right. I want to, but that's the thing. Could I have a rocket cold smoke that's similar?
No, you wouldn't. Why would you?
You have a hard time with a rocket cold smoke because rockets doesn't make smoke.
Rocket is not. Yeah, rockets don't.
The rocketing is what burns the smoke away. But it'd be fun to make a.
The rocket stuff is going to go fast, and you kind of want your smoke to be like 24 hours a day.
Right.
And so it's a whole different game.
Yeah. So your dehydrator heats up the rocks. Is that?
That's
like
true.
The
2-minute
fire heats up the mass, which is rocks, and then the cabinet stays toasty warm for 24 hours.
Easy.
Or maybe more. Yeah, or more. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So, Andreas, what does it say? What's the first one say? The angle of the glass is optimized for, spring and fall.
Spring or
so
fall.
We talked about that one. I mentioned the second one. On a sunny day, the mass is heated enough that the air will continue to flow all night. Yes. And then the next one is the mass is heated by the sun and or burning wood.
Right.
True. And October harvests with short, wet days and long, cold nights will benefit from the wood burning boost. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I imagine the angle of the sun is going to be good for the spring as well, but there's not a lot we're doing this spring. We have put a lot of rhubarb through it in the spring. You could do a stinging nettle, but stinging nettle does fine without any fancy dehydration stuff. Like drying stinging nettle is so easy, you don't need anything fancy to do that. I don't know what else we might do in the spring. All right, now I'm going to go look at the Kickstarter to see how we're doing. And it looks like we've had 0 activity for 30 minutes.
Well.
Yeah, so Permies.com/KS. So, let's see. A lot of our harvest comes late in the summer into fall, so a rocket-powered dehydrator to get through the nights better would probably work better for us. Yes. Yeah. It's been a dream for us. It's been wow. And of course we wouldn't have even tried to build this if not for having built the first giant solar food dehydrator. And while the giant solar food dehydrator works very well, if there are cloudy days, it does not. Okay. But you do want to smoke peppers for barbecue sauce and smoked paprika. Yeah, okay. All right, yes. Dean here, I have a 10-tray stainless dehydrator and have not noticed any rise in the electric bill. All right. Are they little trays or big trays? But I
think it depends on your rates too, your electrical rates, whether you notice the change.
That's true too. I think here in Montana we're now at 12 cents per kilowatt hour, but I think that it's like $50 a month plus the 12 cents per kilowatt. And I have heard that there are places in the United States where it's now more than 50 cents per kilowatt hour. And so, yeah. All right, next card, please. Please support our Kickstarter. I'm refreshing it again, and of course there's still no change. It's been 2 whole minutes, and there hasn't been any change. See how the guy's wearing overalls? Andreas did that.
Thanks, Andreas.
They look sharp, and they're also barefoot.
Yay.
I don't know who that's.
So you know it's a confident artist when they're drawing feet. Feet are
All right,
hard.
the hay box
Hands
cooker.
are hard.
So, Samantha, you were a cook here for a couple of our
Yes.
events. Did you ever use the hay box cooker?
I love using the hay box cooker. It's so cool. You just get your pot of whatever hot on the stove, and then you carry it outside and put it in the cooker, and you can just forget about it. It'll sit out there and finish cooking, and after many hours, you just open it up. It's still super hot in there. It was really nice. I kind of wished you had more of them. I know you have a huge one down in your classroom, but I would have cooked a ton of stuff in there just because it's so handy. And you don't have to like watch it. You know, when you're cooking for a lot of people, there's a lot of stuff on the stove and there's a lot of paying attention. And then the hay box cooker, you don't have to watch it. You just go back to it when you're ready. Go get your beans or your whatever out of there. It was great.
So you could put like soaked beans, and then when the water is boiling, you stick it into the hay box cooker.
Yeah, you just bring it up to a boil and stick it in there with a lid.
So this
cover the whole thing up with there's a little the box is lined with like this kind of blanket. You know, it could be hay, but at Paul's place it's very clean and nice, and it's a blanket. And then there's this other bit of blanket that goes over top of your pot, and then you close the wooden box, totally insulated. And then it just slowly cooks. Yeah, it just keeps it at very close to, but it won't burn, right? Because you're not adding
But
heat.
it won't burn. So I could see that this is a great thing to use in conjunction with the Lorena, because the Lorena gets things up to boiling really hot, but then at that point you might have an issue where you're overboiling it. So you would want to build your Lorena and then have 5 pots and 4 hay box cookers, and then you get it to boiling, stick it in the hay box cooker, and then do your next one. And you do like the beans first, and then the rice, et cetera, et cetera. And then all that would be going while you're doing like veggies or other things. Yeah, other things that you kind of want to monitor. But things that you can't overcook, like rice and beans or a stew, anything that you would like to have on the stove and being hot for a long time, it's an excellent one. Yeah. I love your idea of having a few of them. You could have a whole cabinet of these and cook lots of things all at once. Right, and you've got the Lorena is the heat source. It's just boom, 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 bringing the pots up to a boil, and then obviously your pots need to have good handles, and you need to have some welding gloves and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they do have to have a properly fitting lid, because that's part of what you're, but yeah, I mean, it's just any pot that you would use.
Hey, this is T. Blankenship. Have you seen the new video of Wheaton Labs? It is permaculture awesomeness with all new and improved things like more rocket mass heaters, easy bake coffin, Willy Wonka, rocket cooktop 2.0, and the truly passive greenhouse. To see more, go to permies.com/tour. Again, that is permies.com/tour.
Okay, we're going to cover this card. I'm going to read the poetry here in just a moment. All right. But in looking at the Kickstarter, there's been no new activity for 35 minutes. And I know that we said that we weren't going to be doing this based upon activity, but I just kind of thought there'd be at least a little bit of activity. Well, there was a little bit of activity. Plus, I haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm kind of thinking like... let's see, apparently we've been at this for more than an hour. Yes, we have. Yeah, and so I'm kind of thinking like, so I'm tempted to say, maybe this is the last card, mostly because I'm hungry. Which, by the way, we've just yesterday we harvested sunchokes and walking onions. We would harvest kale, but in our paddock, we think it's a local goat from the neighbors got loose and somehow got through our fence and ate all of our kale, all of it. Oh no! Oh my goodness! It's all gone. And so, but we're not sure it's the goat, so we've been calling it deer, goat, pig. So. We shored up our fence to keep out deer, goat, pig. But I mean, this is a big part of, and I've got like a lot of other stuff I want to try to grow with the idea of harvesting in the winter. And so somebody recently sent us skirret seed. We're going to try that. That can be harvested all winter. And we've got a couple of other things we're going to try. But all right. Last year we had kale until January. And so, but this year deer, goat, pig got it. But I'm hungry. I want to go eat.
All right.
If we've only made $20 since we started this whole thing, I kind of feel a little bit like, well, this idea isn't working. So.
Okay, everybody who's watching should tell their friends about this cool thing, because your email isn't working, and so we're going to have to go by word of mouth.
Yeah.
So anybody watching this, you should share to your small circle that there's a cool thing they can get.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'll be nice. Hopefully we'll get our email fixed the next few months. We found a way to fix it. And it's of course, you know, what are you going to do when the bad guys come? The bad guys do what the bad guys do. Oh, there it is. The automatic backyard food pump. So we made a card for it, even though I kind of feel like it still has 5 more years of development to do. I mean, we're far enough along that we're already seeing massive benefits to it. And of course, I'm advocating everybody to plant these things. I kind of feel like maybe we need to do one of these live thingamabobs just to talk about sunchokes, because there's so much misinformation about sunchokes out there. And and this is the one-eyed jack, one of the 2 one-eyed jacks.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but like when you're playing poker, sometimes people say one-eyed jacks are wild, or whatever they want to say about one-eyed jacks. And there's 2 one-eyed jacks for the traditional card set. So we made 2 one-eyed jacks that I think are super fun.
Okay.
This one, this is the eye is on the J, and so, because I think the other one, the eye is on the heart. But I believe this one looks like a pirate. Jack, one-eyed Jack. It's a one-eyed Jack. Yeah. So I'm not going to mention any more than that, because we'll probably get the whole video blocked or something. But I think it's a fun card. The automatic back. Is this our next card, Andres, or you just slapped it up there? Oh, hay box cooker.
Yeah, I wanted to show it while you talked about that.
Okay. All right. So I'm thinking that when we wrap up the hay box cooker card, if we haven't had any more money come in, I think we should make it good. Call it the end.
Time for breakfast.
And then I'd go eat. Yeah, I'll go eat something.
I'm gonna go cut up a hog.
Oh, good luck with that. All right, hay box cooker.
Yeah.
Looks like there's 4 bits of poetry. A big pot of food is heated up to boiling, and then set for 6 to 12 hours in an insulated box. When the pot comes out, it's still very hot. It's been cooking the whole time with 0 energy. So our hay box cooker is loaded up with wool. We have a whole bunch of wool blankets and raw wool and wool this and wool that. It's very woolly. And then you get the pot placed in amongst all the wool, and then you've got some wool blankets to put on top of the pot, and then you close the box and you walk away. I think it's also foil lined, but I can't remember. Some hay box cookers are foil lined. The box is filled with some kind of insulation, straw, raw wool, or blankets is the most common. I would say it's called a hay box cooker, but I would suggest to never use hay. Like I would use...
Right. Hay is green.
Yeah.
You don't want to use green stuff.
But for some reason, that's called a hay box cooker. It's a well-recognized name. And so, but I would say wool is going to be way better than straw, but straw is fine. I've heard of people just using towels, like old towels. And it's like not as good as wool, but it'll work. It'll do. Great for soups, stews, beans, and grains. Saves time, no stirring, or constant attention needed. Yeah, it's like, in fact, we were talking about this the other day. Is like when you're cooking on a wood cooktop, like a rocket cooktop. The beautiful thing is you never get half hour away and then say, "Oh, did I leave the oven on? Oh, did I leave the stove on?" So you never have that sensation with the hay box cooker either. Like, oh, did I leave the hay box cooker on?
Well, you did, and then when you get home, your soup will be warm and ready for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would imagine that, so if you put it in, if it's boiling when you put it in, I would say you pull it out, it's probably 150, 160, something like that. It's still very, very hot.
It's nice and hot, but it's not going to overcook things. It's really neat that way.
True.
And really, if you had a hay box cooker and just a J-tube rocket, you could have a really simple cooking setup and cook all your food. Right? Like, you don't need to have fancy anything. Just a J-tube would get you up to boiling, throw it in the hay box cooker. I mean, you wouldn't need an oven. You wouldn't need anything fancy, and you could easily cook all your food just on your sticks.
Yeah. And it's truly off-grid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And pretty portable. I mean, you've got those J-tubes that are portable. There's no reason why your hay box cooker couldn't be portable. You could set up yourself a little super easy, quickie kitchen wherever you are.
Yeah.
Summer or winter.
There's the comment here, a couple of hay box cookers in combination with a Lorena could feed a small army. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
It really simplifies cooking for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it makes your ability to scale your cooking operation. Because you could just get a couple more hay boxes, get some more pots and pans.
Yeah. And zero electricity, zero gas, zero propane kind of a thing.
Oh, it makes you completely self-sufficient. I mean, there's some skill involved in building a wooden box, but you can learn it, and if you do a bad job, just make another one. Then you have two.
And then you have two.
Yeah, the good one and the lame one.
The next one. Every time you do a thing, you'll get better at it.
So I'm trying to refresh the Kickstarter to kind of see if we've had any activity or if we're all done. And Kickstarter isn't loading for me. I don't know if it's loading for you guys. Oh, there's the Gert card.
We're going to do the Gert card? I think Gert is such a dream.
Maybe we should do the Gert one. Yeah.
We've got to talk about Gert.
So, I mean, I kind of feel like so much of everything we do anymore is about Gert. And, I don't know. Somebody on the internet was being snotty a few years ago, saying something like, "Did Paul Wheaton ever make a farm?"
Yeah.
And what a lazy fuck. And like, I don't want to make a farm. I want permaculture gardens. I kind of feel like permaculture farm is an oxymoron. And so, I really like the idea of Gert. And so I wrote this story like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, Ferd and Gert. And so there's Ferd. You got to have Ferd in order to be able to talk about Gert. So you can see Ferd there in his suit. And it's got a little blue arrow pointing to Ferd. Ferd lives the average American life of working 40 plus hours per week and 5 hours per week commuting. Ferd buys all of his food. Ferd will retire after working 40 years. And then up above, we've got Gert. The story of a woman living the permaculture dream, retired at 22. Gert has a humble home and a large permaculture garden, heavy on perennials and self-seeding annuals. So the garden takes very little time. Okay, and then going down, I can't quite read the one. Gert spends less time on her garden than Ferd spends on commuting. Andreas, can you read the bottom one?
Yes, if I gave $1 million to Ferd and $1 million to Gert, Ferd's life would change dramatically, and Gert's life would not change.
Yeah, that's the core of Ferd and Gert.
I would also add, Ferd wears shoes.
He does, and a tie.
And Gert looks happier than Ferd.
That's true.
No. And I bet she spends less time staring at her phone. Or her
also
screen.
True. Maybe she doesn't have one, but maybe I imagine that Gert has a phone. And it has all the whiz-bangeries. But one of the things I said is that Gert's got a really good truck, but only fires it up about once every 3 months. She can drive and do things as much as she wants, but she just doesn't wanna. So, okay, now I'm going to go and go to the Kickstarter, hit refresh one more time.
Go have breakfast.
I'm going to go have breakfast. Okay.
All right.
Anybody here got any last minute things they want to say? Please go support my Kickstarter, Permies.com.
Please tell your friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell your friends would be great. I mean, I think 85% of our people are not getting our emails right now, so I don't know, the Kickstarter would be doing like 5 times better, I suppose, if they did. And so we'd be doing great. But yeah, this sucks, and all we can do is make the best of it. And I hope people go and put a little money in there, and then if not, well, I do promise we're going to sell the cards for more. Like the best deal is for the Kickstarter people. So come and support our Kickstarter. And I think right now we've got an extra sweet thing going on where I thought if we said, hey, anybody who raises their backer level by $20, or if they're new, anybody that adds $20 or more to our Kickstarter between now and $30,000, we'll give you this whole bunch of stuff. I thought that would get us to the next level pretty fast, but that seems to have not happened. So that offer is still on the table if anybody wants to harvest that coin.
Should we say what those stuffs are? I have them right here.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So much. I mean, you made such a bundle. Let me get all the way to the top of it. If you raise your backer level, the rich turbo pump. So you get a 1-month stay at Allerton Abbey, which is the most beautiful cabin. So sweet. It's surrounded by a huge garden. It has the greenhouse next to it, the truly passive greenhouse. You also get, of course, 12 sets of cards or skip books or Better World books or any mix of those. You get the full 18 hours of movies from the Low Tech Laboratory 2, the full event, which is where they go through and teach you all these different skills that you need to do homesteading, the mushroom installation and the solar powered sawmill, and then we have the rocket forge, and when Mike built the giant stairs, the outdoor sauna, the shower, all the things. I'm in there talking about how to make your own clothes out of wool. Okay. Then we have soil microscopy, which is an awesome work with Alan Booker. And looking at your soil, it's one thing to look at your soil with your own eyeballs, but when you get out a microscope, it's a pretty fun world in there. So that's a cool video. We have Building a Willow Dome. It's a webinar with Michael Judd, and that's a really great technology. You can plant plants and have them grow into structures. And they're beautiful, they're really strong, they don't rot because they're still alive, and that's a really fun art form. We also have how to make your compost tea, right? I mean, people buy fertilizer, but there's no reason to. It's so easy to make all your own fertilizers, produce plenty of nutrients for all your plants, and this is a great video, and I'm not sure it's an actual video. It says it's a recording, live presentation, and ebook. So yeah, that's going to be full of information. You get a deck, or maybe two. How many decks? Oh, if you get the ebook for the old deck of Permaculture Playing Cards, the Permaculture deck. We're doing the gardening deck right now, but this is the original deck, and it's an ebook. So everything is bigger. You get to actually open it up and see everything, and the art is beautiful. So a lot of people wanted to see it bigger, so we made an ebook. We also get low-tech laboratory 3D plans for the rocket engine. The rocket engine is a rocket heater that you can plug other things into, like plug in a kiln or plug in a water heater. Plug in all kinds of stuff. It's a kind of a base model that you can add whatever you want to. We have the movie, the webinar recording for the truly passive greenhouse. And this is an awesome build of how to have a greenhouse where your plants don't freeze and it doesn't require electricity, even in cold winters of Montana. It's kind of like building a wafadi for your plants, except that it has this huge cold trap down at the bottom and it moves the air through. So even in summer, the plants don't get too hot, and in winter they stay alive. So that's really fun. We're growing plants all year round at Wheaton Labs with one of them.
On the point of the truly passive greenhouse, Stephen went and measured the thermal wells recently. And it sounds like we may have gotten past, like the thermal wells started off at 46.2, and then I think that they went up to 48 the first year. And then we saw, eventually it got to 49, but I think he said that it's already past 50.
Wow.
Which is the warmest it's ever been at the bottom of the thermal wells. But I'm kind of thinking like we're gaining a lot every year. Yeah. So it's possible that in a few more years it'll be like 52, 53. And so we're basically warming that space underneath the greenhouse annually. It's a little warmer every year.
That's great.
So it's working. What's that?
Is this proof of annualized thermal inertia?
I believe it is, yeah. I mean, of a sort, of a type.
Yeah.
But we got to 25 below in the greenhouse and nothing froze.
Neat.
So It's working.
Yeah. That is so cool.
And there's no electricity, there's no fans, there's no solar panels, nothing. So there's other greenhouses they say are passive, but they have electricity and or solar panels, but they always have a fan. And it's like, oh, it's our passive greenhouse. And there's a giant fan. And it's like, I don't think you know what passive means. So ours is working. And so to see how we made it is that movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we have a passive greenhouse card.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure we do. Yeah.
It's a mighty fine living.
Yeah.
Okay, what else is on that list?
What else on the list? You have the low-tech laboratory 3D plans for the log beehives. This is a really cool build. You take a log and you hollow it out and build little racks for the bees to make their honeycomb on, and it's pretty neat. So I like that.
Is that the end of the list?
No, we have so much more. There's the low-tech laboratory extended interviews. So when we did the low-tech laboratory movie, of course, there's a whole bunch of content that doesn't fit, and people teaching really, really fun skills. And so the extended interviews are all of that extra content. Some of that extra content. You have a Myco installation webinar recording with Bo talking about how to grow your own insulation while you're farming edible mushrooms. So he has this system where he grows insulation panels out of mycelium on straw, and while it's happening, food mushrooms are pouring out of them, so you get to just chop those off and stir fry up mushrooms while you're growing your insulation panels, and then once the panels are complete, they dry and harden, and they feel kind of like plastic, but they're made of mycelium, and they don't burn, they don't absorb water, they're better R value than store-bought insulation, totally non-toxic. So that's a really, really fun technology, and I'm glad that that's in there because I think that's a solution for pretty much any insulation situation is doing that, and it grows food, and it's non-toxic.
I want to jump in real quick before you finish the list, and there's a thing I just thought of, and that is that I think it's good to say into this recording that we're doing something a little different with this Kickstarter because we wanted to get the cards and do a Kickstarter for the cards, but at the same time, it's like to do it this time of year. How do you get that to work? And we had these weird things where like nobody does a Kickstarter in December because nobody backs Kickstarters in December. So it's going to be dead and you'll get about nothing, which our numbers are kind of proving that to be very true. Like, for the last several weeks, it's like, most of the days we brought in zero and, it's rare to get past $100. It's been very dry, but, at the same time, we have to, once the money comes in, we have to pay for the printing and the shipping it to us, and then we have to pay for shipping it out to everybody. And so we need the money to arrive in 2026. Otherwise, because it's going to take us months to do all the printing and shipping and all that, and it's kind of like if we were to do it in like say October and then stop, we wouldn't have enough time to get it all done before the end of the year. And if you're still holding the money at the end of the year, the tax man has strong theories about that.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's like, well, this way, it's weird, but the money then arrives in January and we can, then spend it all.
So what you're saying, the weird thing is that this Kickstarter is going on for 60 days instead of 30.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And when does it end?
I think it ends December 20th. I think.
Oh, so it does end in 25.
Yeah, but the payout comes 14 days later.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are nearing the end, folks.
And that's when the tax man gets very interested.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
So.
All right.
But what else is on the list, Samantha?
What else is on the list? The low-tech laboratory 3D plans for the hugelkultur build. And I know this is something that a lot of people ask for because we talk about hugelkultur, but they really want the details of how actually do you build one and what are your options. And so this is a really fun one of all the different things you can put in there, what they do, how to create the best hugelkultur beds. This is a book that Paul wrote. It's called Permaculture Thorns. He wrote it many years ago, and it's still sort of in a draft version because there's a lot more that could be added, I guess. I don't know why it's still a draft. But it's a book full of information about community and how to build a community and what the various troubles are that come up. So when you're building your own community or wanting to join a community, these are things to look out for and things to be aware of, and then ways to work within that so that you don't fall into these problems. So Permaculture Thorns is a pretty important book for folks who are interested in living in community or building a community of their own. This is a fun video. It is World Domination Gardening. It's a 3 DVD movie set. It's
but to be clear, it's the movies, not the DVDs.
Right. It is the movies. It's a streaming version of the movie. So you will have to be online in order to watch it. Some people live off-grid and they need to actually buy the DVD. But in this case, it's a streaming version of these 3 movies. One of them is building some ponds using excavators, looking at the landscape, finding where the water will flow naturally and then catching it up. They also build some swales and just ways of catching and harvesting water on the landscape. There's a video, one of them is about building hugelkultur. And I don't remember what the last one's about.
So there's ponds, I believe terraces, and hugelkultur.
Okay. And hugelkultur. And this is the movie where you build the sun scoop.
Yes.
Such an important technology because you're building this huge berm, which is a hugelkultur bed, and you build it in such a way that it blocks the cold wind from coming down the hill. It also blocks the first early morning sun, so that when the sun hits a plant, it's not covered in frost anymore. I've already come up above freezing level. And so it scoops the sun, but it also allows cold air to flow out away from this area. So you use a berm and the slope of the hillside to create a microclimate where you can grow plants, sometimes many zones above the zone you actually live in. You can add a pond to this, you can add rock walls, but this is a way to create a microclimate. Like you were talking about that plum tree that you have. Part of the reason that plum tree is still fruiting in December is because it's living in the lee of a berm. It's in a protected space. So you can do a lot of things and change and basically grow in different zones by using these techniques.
So I think that this list is like $200 worth of stuff for $20. So like if you either raise your backer level by $20 or if you become a backer that's at $20 or more, one of those two things, anything that moves the whole Kickstarter forward $20 or more between now and when we hit 30,000, you get all of this stuff. Is there more on the list?
There's one more thing, which is issue number 10 of Living Woods magazine. And it's a beautiful magazine full of all kinds of fun things, and just a great resource.
All right. Thanks for going through that list, Samantha.
Yeah, I'm amazed that you have so many things on this list, and we only, it's what is it, $20?
I thought we would zip right on up to the next level, and then we'd have to go from there. But it seems like the whole Kickstarter stopped. But we are in December, which is famous for being the Kickstarter kiss of death kind of
doldrums. The Kickstarter doldrums. Also, yeah, I think people aren't noticing the new things maybe, but maybe with this video, there are people who have already supported the Kickstarter, but they're like, oh, that sounds interesting. Let's do another $20 on there.
All right, I think we're done. I'm going to go eat breakfast.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. If you like this sort of thing, come on up to the forums at permaculture.com and support our Kickstarters. There's homesteading and there's permaculture all the time.
All the time. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mark. There are a lot of reasons to get angry these days, but I prefer to focus on the positive things that we each can do to make this world a better place. The book, Building a Better World in Your Backyard, Instead of Being Angry at Bad Guys, is a great resource for just that. Instead of throwing my arms up in frustration at governments or big corporations, there's a list of ideas that we each can tackle to affect change. Information about this book and other resources can be found at permies.com.